Washington has the best of both academics and athletics. It's got an incredible women's basketball following, a great program, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to bring our family up to Washington and be a part of this amazing university, get to know all the coaches and all the success that they've had in their programs. I'll bring some passion, some grit, some toughness, and a whole lot of heart. I'm head coach Jody Wynn, Washington women's basketball. Go Dogs!
I like to get my water. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here today to welcome Coach Jody Wynn and her husband, Derek, and her beautiful family here to Seattle and to the University of Washington, and most important, to our Husky family. This women's basketball program is special, and it means a lot to a lot of people. It's got great history. It's got great tradition. It's produced some amazing teams and some amazing student athletes. It also has a tremendous amount of support from a community that loves women's basketball, support from former student athletes, many of which I see today, thank you for being here, who stay involved and who give back, and support from a very passionate and loyal fan and donor base. And so when Shondell Reed, our Senior Associate Athletic Director, and I set out to find our new women's basketball coach, it was no surprise to us that there was a lot of interest in this job. The candidate pool was strong and it was experienced. And through the process, we were absolutely thrilled to find what we call our perfect fit in head coach Jody Wynn. I'd like to share just a few thoughts on some of the things about Jody that made her stand out and made us feel so strongly about her being the right fit for Washington. The first, the first is her absolute passion and commitment to developing young women both on and off the court. You'll see when you hear from her, but she's got a very high standard for excellence. And she gets the best out of her student athletes. The best in competition, the best out of them in the classroom, the best out of them in community and in relationships. And that's what this whole program is all about. And so she's so much more than just a coach. She's a teacher, she's a mentor, she's a role model, she's a mom. And we have no doubt that the women that come through this program are going to come out of it better versions of themselves because of her leadership. The other thing we loved about Jody was that she had great experience at building and inspiring what we call a championship culture. We were extremely impressed with what she did at Long Beach State, but most important, impressed with how she did it. Her values align with our values. You heard her say it in the video. Her teams are gritty, and they're tough, and they're prepared, and they're together, and they're family-oriented. And those are Husky values. And so we had complete confidence that when she came in here that we'd be aligned and that she'd see success because of that alignment. Jody's a product of the Pac-12, both as a student athlete and a coach, and we love those West Coast ties. She's spent 20 years coaching and developing deep and meaningful relationships up and down the West Coast, including here in Washington. And we know that's going to prove to be fruitful for us in recruiting. And finally, and this was critical, Jody and Derek and our entire staff saw this place as their destination. They knew how special this place was, just like we know. They knew they could accomplish something really unique and wonderful. They're really happy with where they were, but they saw this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to come and build a legacy here at Washington. So in Coach Wynn, we found everything we were looking for. An incredible resume, excuse me, wonderful character and values, strong vision, and a great coach and an even better person. So it is my pleasure today to introduce you to the women's basketball coach at the University of Washington. Please welcome Coach Jody Wynn.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you all for being here today. I just want to say this is an incredible honor. I want to thank President Kause and our athletic director, Jen Cohen, and Shondell Reed for giving us this opportunity to come lead an incredible women's basketball program in an amazing city at one of the most prestigious academic institutions in the nation and all of the world. We feel so lucky and so blessed to be here. We are thrilled beyond belief to bring our family up to Seattle and establish new roots in this amazing city. It's going to be a change for all of us. We're super excited to work with the young women and to continue to build upon the culture that is reestablished here as one of the top women's basketball programs in the nation. It is an absolute honor to say that we are going to lead the Washington Huskies. And we're going to do this together as a family and continue to grow the program and get it to the level that it currently is, continue to get it to the level that it currently is with national respect. And I just want to say it is an amazing opportunity, one that you can count on us for fighting every single day, because we are about family, fit, culture, grit, toughness, and having an amazing working and healthy environment for our families, for our players, and for the fans. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate this amazing opportunity. When we met with Jen and Shondell, immediately we thought, this is family. You know, the Washington Huskies is one of the best women's basketball programs in all the land, in the #1 conference in the country. And so coming into our meeting initially, we thought of, well, we might not fit, you know, because we're more about grit and grind and not about flash. And so we didn't know what to expect. And we felt so at home and so welcomed, and our values aligned so well. And I just can't tell you enough how comforting that is. And we're here today because of that, because of the fit, the family, and the culture that you've created, Jen. And I'm excited to get to know all the wonderful coaches here. I mean, it's an amazing coaching staff and all the student athletes. The campus is beautiful, and we just can't wait to hit the ground running. Are we going to open it up for questions?
Yeah, she's gonna open it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we go into questions, I do want to introduce some people that are here with us today. First of all, my husband, Derek Wynn, assistant coach. Derek and I have been coaching together for 18 years, and he's been along for the ride every step of the way at every place we've ever coached, and we'll be married 17 years in a couple weeks. I know, thank you. And our two beautiful children, Jada, who's 12, a 7th grader, and Kaylee, who's 9, a 3rd grader. And you will get to know them, I promise. I promise. They will feel like they run this place. I think the 3rd grader already does. She already has some best friends on the team. And Michelle Augustavo, one of my assistant coaches, UW alum. Michelle is a Husky. And so she was a big part of teaching us about the culture here and the university and all that it offers. And it's great to be able to bring her home. really is. One member of our coaching staff, Paul Reed, couldn't make it. A family member is ill and in the hospital, and he had to hold back. But we're excited to meet all of you. I want to also introduce my mom, or two moms, our moms, Kathy, Anton, and Beverly Wynn. They had to come up with us to tell us it's okay, you can leave the nest. You can leave SoCal. And I'm sure they're going to show us around and just be along for the ride, and you'll see them quite regularly here in Seattle. So that's us. We can't wait to meet all of you. Just come and say hello, get to know each other. I'm really excited about the community here and the fan support of women's basketball. That's a big factor in this decision. The fact that you all support women's basketball as well as you do and as great as you do is so attractive to coaches and prospects. And you want to coach and play in that kind of environment. When the NC2A tournament pairings were being announced a couple months ago and we knew UW was going to be hosting, we thought, man, to be able to go and play in front of a packed house, how amazing would that be, right? We hadn't gone for 25 years, so why not go where there's fan support, right? So we didn't get to come up here, but we experienced great fans, and we can't wait to just meet you and to see you on a very regular basis and help build or continue to help build the culture that you want here for the University of Washington, and family friendly, ones that our girls are so approachable, our coaches are so approachable, and we hope that you receive us in that same manner.
Coach, I'll start right here. The name's Chris from the NBC in town. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your positive energy is just amazing. So I just want to take me through the moment you found out that you got the job and what was going through your mind with you and your family at that moment.
Man, it's been the fastest week of our lives. When Shondell called initially, he was putting a feeler out, like, would this California girl even be interested? And it wasn't a situation where we were searching for another opportunity. Long Beach State is an incredible university and an amazing women's basketball community. They really support our program well, and some of our dearest friends are supporters of Long Beach State and really welcomed us in for the first time as head coach, to the beach. And, 8 years later, we established some pretty good roots and ties down there. So when we got the call, we said, you know what, this is like a dream come true to be coaching in the #1 conference in America at one of the most prestigious academic and athletic universities. I mean, the combination of the two are incredible. And so when we talked to Shondell and Jen on the phone, they just answered a lot of, we kind of were like, are you sure? You want us to come up? We're kind of square, we're not about a lot of flash. And so we didn't know, because from an outsider looking in, it's so prestigious that you just don't know if you fit all the time. And when we went up and came up and met, we just instantly knew that, wow, this is different, this is special. And so yeah, it happened really quickly. It was the hardest decision Derek and I have ever had to make, because it's not only a decision about myself or Derek, it's about our children and our family. And it wasn't easy saying goodbye and that we weren't coming back. They wanted us to stay, and it's the leadership with Jane Connolly, our president, and Cindy Maisner, and Vic Seglis, who opened up the doors and gave us a chance. It was difficult to do, but we've worked hard for a new opportunity, and why not at such a wonderful place like Washington? I mean, it's kind of surreal. It happened rather quickly, and I'm just so thankful and fortunate all in one. Yeah.
My name's Mark, do some streams for Dogs Digest magazine. A lot of times when a new coach comes in, they're in different modes. Sometimes it's rebuilding, sometimes it's just transition, sometimes it's pick up where you left off.
Right.
What do you see this program in right now?
Well, gone are some of the best women's basketball players in the country, right, who graduated this, and we're not blind to that. What Kelsey Plum did, and Chantel and Kate, and it's and Heather. I mean, we watched. We get the Pac-12 network. If we're not playing, we're watching basketball, either on the laptop or the TV. So we understand the culture that is within this women's basketball program, and the fact that we have some student athletes that are hungry to create their own identity is very attractive. I mean, Kelsey Plum, to be the #1 draft in the WNBA and to be the National Player of the Year in women's basketball, sure, those are big shoes to fill. Chantel Osifor gets more rebounds than I've ever seen in my life, And so, yeah, there's some big shoes to fill, but it's not going to be one. It's going to be all. We have a system of, an equal opportunity system. So let's call it that for right now. And we're excited to have a clean slate with the young women and work with them on and off the court, develop relationships and trust, so then loyalty exists, and we'll see what happens. But we understand what happened here the last 3 years. We're very well aware of that. We're excited for the new opportunity for the young women that are here, and for the future recruits that will come to I knew I was going to do that. See, I'm not perfect. But we are excited for the future of the program. And we think it's at the level that it needs to be to attract some of the best and brightest student athletes in the country. Yeah.
Hey, Coach Elise
Hi,
Woodward.
Elise.
Welcome. I see your team sitting here. When you met with them, what was your message to them? How were you received? How'd that go?
Yeah, they're a quiet bunch. But we just told a little bit about who we were, and then we asked them a little bit about who they are. And we said, there's no expectations. And we explained to them, I played for 3 head coaches in 4 years. Michelle played for 4 head coaches in her 4.5, 5 years. And so we understand change. Change is not always the easiest thing. But we're going to open up our doors, and we want to be people that they see on a very regular basis, not just during practice right now, or not just during workouts or games, but to develop a relationship. And we talked a little bit about that. It's not going to come overnight, and we understand that. But they need to know who we are, and we need to know who they are. So then, during trying times or times of difficulty, or if they had a bad test or something not so great happen in their family or whatever, then we know how we can work together. And it's all about being together and doing this together. And we told them we congratulated them on their year, sometimes years for some of you that have been there longer. And we just said that, we're going to be here for you, and we can't wait to get to know each other before we ever talk basketball.
I think you mentioned the word gritty. Jen mentioned grit and gritty. So how do you define a gritty team, and how did that come about for you? Is that the type of player you were growing up as well?
I did play hard. I think I was pretty theatrical, maybe. My husband, Derek, always says that I was a drama queen, but on the court. But, it kind of came about through establishing our culture at Long Beach State, where we might have been the underdogs quite regularly. And knowing that heart and hustle can make up for lazy talent. And there's nothing better than sneaking up on folks. I just think that when you see our teams play, they will play hard for 40 minutes. We max effort everything. We like to play 94 feet, offensively and defensively. We like to give the girls freedom. We usually create a team full of versatile kids that can do a little bit of everything because we feel it's our job to expand their total game, not just a shooter be a shooter and a defender be a defender. And so, yeah, it is about grit and grind and toughness and heart and hustle. We like kids that dive on loose balls and take charges. Yeah, you're going to learn to take some charges if you haven't already. And what we told them is that you will play as long as you have effort. You know, we're not too quick on subbing for mistakes, but we will sub or not play based on effort. And I think that just, we're very active in our practices, and I think that gives the young ladies confidence to be able to perform like that during games.
Coach Matt Calkins with the Seattle Times. I think the last couple of years, people around here have gotten used to the certain style of play, run and gun, chucking threes.
Yeah.
You keep mentioning the word square.
I do? Sorry.
I guess I'm just wondering, what kind of style can people expect to see from you guys out on the court?
Oh, yeah. We like to teach kids how to play rather than walk the ball up the court and run 40 set offenses and put them in their box. Square is me. I'm kind of a square. Sorry. Not our players. We want them to develop their total game and decision making and being comfortable defending away from the rim. So it's an equal opportunity offense. You know, we're going to teach shot selection within practices, but the last thing that we want on the court are for the girls to be afraid to make a mistake. You know, we want them to play with confidence, and basketball is a game of instincts, and if you're not playing on instincts, you're not a very good basketball player. So we don't want anybody looking over their shoulder wondering, am I going to get pulled if I take this shot? Or if they're good enough to get a scholarship, they should be good enough to make a shot. And so, yeah, so we'll work on their total game. We historically have pressed a different type of press after every made basket. We like our defense to create points on the board, and you know, but we'll see what we got. You know, but I will say one thing is that the girls are going to play with freedom. Whether they shoot threes or get to the rim or throw it inside, they're going to have freedom when they play.
Hey, Coach, I know you had a lot of Northwest kids on your roster at Beach, and they've recruited here. Can you tell just, I know you've got some scholarships available, how you're going to attack it, if you've got feelers out, just how you're going to approach that for the spring?
Yeah. Yeah, we love the Northwest, whether it was at Pepperdine or USC. We coached Heather Corral's sister, Ashley, or at Long Beach State. I think the coaching up here is phenomenal, you know, and so we've talked a little bit as a staff about filling some roster spots, but we haven't really dove into it fully yet. You know, we want to get the right kids that have high character. You know, sometimes we'll sacrifice a good talent if the character doesn't fit. You know, if we don't like you, we're not going to love you. And if we don't love you, we can't coach you. So we were going to get to know the players. There's some really close coaches up here that we know from over the years, and some friends of ours that know the lay of the land, so to speak. And but we're going to expand not just within the Northwest, but I think it's important that you take care of your own backyard.
I think we're good. Yep. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Well, I learned this. Go Dogs.
You got it. I think they're going to take you in the back for media.
Okay.
Here, so yeah,
Okay.
good. Okay.
Thank you all.